Okay, welcome everybody. Today we are learning Lilua Nishmat, Esther Hadassah Bat Shimon, sponsored by Hannah Baruch. And also the class is sponsored in honor of the birth and yahrzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu, which was yesterday, actually. Hi, Esther. No, thank you.
This is for you from the ladies of the Midrashat for Purim, since we are not going to see you too.
That's so
next
special.
week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for teaching.
Thank you. No, it's my honor. The honor of my life. Thank you. Okay. So we're chapter 2 of the Tanya. We're in page 87. And last week we were discussing the quality of a soul. We were talking about the level of a soul. We were talking about the godly soul, which is mamish, the Alter Rebbe says, is mamish, a piece of God on high. So every Jew has a spark of Hashem within him, which is divine. You cannot do anything to ruin it. And this is who you really are. Because at the end of the day, in 180 years that we leave this world, where are we going back? Home. And we're going back to this place where we came from. So we were discussing that then he was talking, the Alter Rebbe, about the difference of people in this world. Because like, if you have a divine soul, like you should shine, but you see many people that don't shine. They're really very, very dark. So it says that a person, the soul is perfect, but while a person is coming down to this world, their soul is descending into the world, into the body. There's certain things that happen in the descent, and some souls come down already not faulty, because this is not the Hashem has a purpose for this type of soul, but it's a person that has it's harder for this person to connect to Hashem. Okay, it's harder to learn Torah, it's harder to connect to the divinity, and so the person sometimes can get lost in life because it's more challenging for the soul to be able to have that wholesome connection with Hashem. So Rabbi Steinsvold in page 87, and this is where we left, he said that the differences, the lofty soul, the differences between one person and the next, between a person of lesser attainment and one of great attainment, between the souls of the forefathers and the souls of the generation, of our generation, which we said that we're the souls of this generation are really like the heels of a body, like we're the heels. They say that the souls that in the times of Mashiach, which we are right now, are souls that really are from the heels. So you have souls that are like the head, and you have souls that are the eyes, and you have souls that are ears, and others are mouths, and others are arms. So we are at this point in time souls that are compared to the heels. But this is not bad. This is actually amazing, because the lower you are, the higher you can get to. And the heel, the action, really, this is a time of action. We're living in a time of doing. The action comes through the feet. And we discussed this through also the 5 levels of the soul, that you have a nefesh, ruach, neshama, haya, yehida. The nefesh being the lowest level of the soul, which is instinctive, behavioral, natural, that you would say, like, this is the lowest level of my soul. In reality, this low level of the soul is the one that can reach the highest places.
I just realized that the bottom of your feet is actually also called a soul.
It's also called the
It's
nefesh.
spelled differently. It's S-O-L-E. But like my soul, like the sole of your feet.
Yes.
It's like the bottom of your
soul.
feet.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my, look, you see everything.
Put that together.
Yeah, it's about, but the nefesh, the instinctive, is not something that we have to get rid of. We have to use this instinctive, natural way of being to elevate the world. Like if a person is by nature an angry person, for example, naturally, he already comes with that. That anger is not meant to be for the person to get rid of the anger. This is not why Hashem put that anger inside of him. The Tanya really turns everything around because people are always trying to be not angry. They're trying to be a certain way, and they're really fighting against their makeup. It's very hard. Salud. But the anger that is put into a person really can be a divine, holy anger. So if a person has this mechanism within him, he has to transform that anger. He has to use it to bring warmth to the world. And I put the example of the Rebbe Lubavitch, who was a person that was fired, that he was completely angry because how can it be that there's Jewish people in the world that they don't know what it means to be Jewish? And he used this anger to create a whole movement where he reached out to the most faraway places, to Jews that never thought 2 seconds about being Jewish, and somehow it got to them. That's why I'm here, actually. I'm one of those recipients. So that's what he's saying. So it says here that the lesser attainment and one of greater attainment between the souls of the forefathers and the souls of our generation is not a difference of more or less intelligence. The level of a soul, whether it's lofty or lowly, refers to a particular characteristic of the soul, namely its capacity for holiness. So you see, you have people, they're super connected. For them to pray is super easy. To keep Torah and mitzvot, it's super easy. It's just like water. And then you have people that for them it's really hard, so hard to pray. I don't feel the connection. I don't feel it, you know? So they get discouraged because they think I'm supposed to be feeling all these things when I'm praying or when I'm eating kosher, it has to be fireworks behind me. And they just they don't feel it. And it comes from the quality of the soul, the quality of that soul in the moment that it's put inside of the body. So the most simple person, not wise or learned at all, may have a tremendous holy soul. You can see a person that is like, has no idea about Torah, has no idea about anything, but he can feel godly. He can feel the godliness. He can be spiritual. He can connect very easily. And you can have a wise person, brilliant, learned. He's in the Mir Yeshiva. He's sitting all day there learning Gemara, and he just doesn't feel it. Doesn't feel it. It's so hard for him. He tries to feel it, and he just doesn't feel it. So what the Rabbi Steinsfeld is saying is a person could be talented in every area, but inferior in holiness. And the level of holy soul constitutes that unique sense, that special ability to make contact with the divine. So what he's saying here is really, I would say, transformational for every person, that a person can be at peace knowing that he has nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you.
So when Hashem put the soul in each person and in each level, it's because he wants you to be better. And so doesn't matter which level he puts. It's not that como que porque algunos se lo pone más arriba y otros lo pone más abajo. It's the purpose is for.
There's many different reasons that are explained. For example, one that we saw is that the moment of conception, the thoughts of the parents at the time of conception can give a soul that extra tool to be able to connect easier to holiness. But it's really something that it's like, who cares? It's irrelevant. if you feel it or you don't feel it. What is important is that a person does, the heal, the soul, is to do, is the action. That a person follows the book of Hashem, his will and his desires. And you know what? If he feels it, amazing. Baruch Hashem, I feel it. What a gift. And if he doesn't, you know what? You can do it with the right intention. Even though I don't feel it naturally, by thinking on it, by meditating on it, by learning how great Hashem is, by learning Torah and connecting to this amazing wisdom, you can come to experience it in a different way. It's more of an intellectual way of experiencing God than an emotional. Okay? And sometimes Hashem gives a gift to a person and he gives him this gift too. When they try so hard, suddenly something comes in and the soul, this garment of thought, speech, and action suddenly can be shaped into a different level of connection. Okay?
Okay, I have like really quick something you're saying about the guy who's like angry, but he used it for good. Reminds me of like with children, like you have kids and then you're like, oh, that kid has ADHD. Like we need to put him on medication because he's not normal, like the kids who can focus. And it's like not really, like they're just different. Like who said that it was the wrong way to be?
I agree.
Hyperactive.
I agree.
Like the same thing.
So obviously they go to a school system where there's a Seder, right? And there's today many ways in which you can help these people, these children and people, because there's mothers with ADHD and it doesn't go away, it's part of you, that can help a person be able to be more productive in his learning. Nowadays, we know with neuroscience that a person can, the plasticity of the brain, you can work with that. There's many ways. I believe that the Tanya is neuroscience 101. A person can really reshape his brain through the way he thinks, speaks, and acts. Okay? So they need help. They need help. You should look for the best ways to help your children and do the best that is for them so they can be successful in life and be superstars. And that's the job of the parents. And hopefully with a good teacher that will be a partner in this. So you have to look for the best way. I know many successful people that suffer from ADHD, dyslexia, like they suffer from, I don't know, there's so many. My daughter doesn't have a visual memory, and she's a nurse from NYU. Like, I don't know how, but she does it because she learned how to supplement the visual with the hearing. And
saying it's not like, oh, she has ADHD, there's something wrong. It's like
there's nothing wrong.
There's like a special.
There's
like,
nothing
yeah.
wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just that this person, his activism with the world is a different than a person that is able to sit down 45 minutes to listen to a teacher. I think the educational system is going to change big time. Huge. Huge. These schools are obsolete. It's huge changes are coming. So likewise, in each and every generation, there are heads of leaders of the thousands of Israel. Someone wants to read it in Hebrew? And I'm going to say it's page 87. The souls constitute the head and the brain in relation to the souls of the masses and the ignorant. Vehen, who wants to read? Okay.
גדול יש ראשי אלפי ישראל שנשמותיהם הם בחינת ראש ומוח לגבי נשמות ההמון ועמי הארץ.
Okay, so this is what we said before, that in every generation, you're going to have different, let's call the configurations of neshamas. And you're always going to have, in every generation, you're going to have heads, you're going to have eyes, you're going to have, so our Rabbanim, the Gadol, they're the heads, and the more learned are the eyes, and like that. I don't know exactly how you distribute it, but eventually most of us are the feet. And what it says is that there's myriad types of distinct levels of souls. And now he's gonna explain this. He's gonna assert to this. Rabbi Steinsvold, in the uniqueness of every soul, he's gonna explain that there's a concept that every Jew has unique quality and particular role that he must fulfill. So it's like this. Hashem has a plan, right? He has a plan. It's not our plan, but it's his plan. And in his plan, he desires and he needs certain type of things happening in this world so that plan can be fulfilled. So he comes up there and he takes from the world of Asilut, of emanation, he takes a neshama, perfect divine soul, and then he fashions this soul in accordance to give this person a purpose that only this person can do in this world. So this person is giving these different attributes, I don't know how you call it, makeup that this person needs. Let's say the kid with the ADHD in the school, right? And Hashem needs to teach people to love, to be more patient, to be more kind. So he puts certain type of kids in the classroom that are off the normal cookie cutter list. And really, people get it all wrong because it's not to make this kid normal like the others. It's to make the other kids more loving, more understanding, more grateful, more kind, less bully, more love, the teacher more compassion. So we really experience the world upside down. I remember there was a story of a marathon of special needs kids. This is an old story. And the kids start running, and you have all these kids in this race. You have a Down syndrome, autism, all these types of kids, and they're all running. And suddenly, one of the kids falls down. And what happens in a normal race? What would people do? Oh, one less, let's keep going. But these kids, what did they do? They gave a lesson to the whole audience. They all stopped. They all stopped. They ran back to the kid that fell down. They all helped him get up. They all cleaned his face, his knees, asked him if he was okay. And then at the end, they all held hands and they all ran together and they all won. Okay? So who's upside down? Who's upside down, really? And so Hashem, sometimes he needs certain neshamas that have to come with certain configurations to help the world advance in what they really need to advance, to not lose vision, focus of what really this life is all about. And so the story is told of a Hasid who was both fabulously wealthy man, and he was a Torah scholar who studied Torah all day, and he was also very stingy guy. He didn't give tzedakah. He was very stingy. And one day, his Rebbe said to him, "You should know that you are in great danger. You're in very worrisome waters." And the Hasid was astounded, and the Rebbe continued, "In every army, there are special units. You have we've seen it with the 2 year of war in Israel, that you have all these units. You have the unit that goes in with the dogs, and you have the unit that cleans everything before the other unit comes in, and you have the unit that picks up what's damaged. You have all these units. And so if a soldier abandons his unit to go to a different unit, he is considered a deserted and deserves a death penalty. You belong to the squadron of dispensers of tzedakah. Like if Hashem gave you all this wealth, your job is to distribute the wealth. If you're not this busy seeing who you're going to help with your wealth, and you're sitting all day learning Torah, right, and doing business, then you really miss the point. You're not living up to what you were created to be. So this idea of uniqueness of every person is expressed in the rabbinic language as a question posed in the Talmud. In what area was your father especially vigilant? And even though it is thought that every Jew must live through multiple lifetimes until he fulfills all 613 mitzvot, in thought, speech, and action, actually, we have to fulfill them in thought, in speech, and action, he must give preference to a specific mitzvah. So there's certain qualities that a person comes into the world that Hashem put into this person because this is part of his job in the world. So if a person is great with the medicine, then that's his area. If a person is an incredible artist, that's his area. If a person is an incredible singer, that's his area. If a person is I don't know, is excellent in building homes, that's his area. So in this book of the On Purpose, which I really recommend, by Mendel Kamelson, it gives many stories of the Rebbe, how he empowered people in their missions in life. And obviously, we all come here as a collective people, and we all have the same 630 mitzvot, and we're all obliged to keep them to the best of our abilities in our lifetime. But there's also a certain area that is given to each person individually. It's a uniqueness that every person has. That is a gift that God gave him so he can give a gift to the world. Okay? So we have to be very particular and scrupulous to the utmost of our capability to bring that power into the world, and only each soul has that power. So on the other hand, each Jew stands alone. He's a whole world unto himself. On the other hand, he must fulfill his role in the context of the eternity of the Jewish nation. And he also has to familiarize himself with specific functions and executions with exceptional effort and meticulousness, since he has appointed to fulfill his particular mitzvah in the most powerful way. And the sad thing is that a person is lacking in doing what he was meant to be doing in this world, then the world is never going to have that, because nobody else can do it. Only you. Only you can do that. And I would say that through life, we are allotted different missions in certain times of our lifetime. So maybe for young mothers, right now they're thinking, okay, what's my mission? What's my mission? Everybody's so worried, what's my mission? And if they cannot see it in front of them, it's your home. Whatever is in front of your eyes, that's your mission. You are your mission. So if you're in a moment of your life where the children are babies and you have to take care of these kids, and Baruch Hashem, you can stay home, this is your purpose. If by any chance it happens to be that you have to be also working, then that place of work, yes, it's an income, but it's more than an income. Because that particular place also, it takes advantage of you. Also, you are bringing into that place part of your purpose, whatever it is, okay? And so someone wants to read here the 88, Vehen nefashot. Yes.
וכן נפשות לגבי נפשות, כי כל נפש כולה מנפש, רוח ונשמה.
Okay, so we discussed before that we have different levels of a soul. It's the same soul with different, let's say, different floors. You see, this is one building, and then you have floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor. So the soul also has these different levels. So it says, similarly, there are distinctions between the nefesh levels within some souls in relation to the nefesh levels within other souls. So the nefesh, which is the lowest level of the soul, is, let's say, floor 1, is behavior. It's behavior, it's instinct, it's nature of the soul. And for every soul is comprised of a nefesh level, a ruach, the ruach, which is the emotional level of the soul. Also, every person feels the world in a different way. No two persons can feel the same situation in the same way. Okay? And this is the emotion. And then you have the neshama level, which is intellectual. In the same way, people don't think the same way. People don't learn the same way. Perspectives are very different. And so a person has 3 levels of a soul within him. They're inside the body. One Actually, they say it's in the liver, where we have our base instincts, which is actually lusts and food. This is where the liver is. And then you have emotions that are in your heart. This is where that level is. And then you have intellect, which is in your mind. Okay, this is where these souls reside, let's say it. And so just as people vary with regard to their higher soul's level, their neshama, so too the level of the nefesh, the lowest rung of their soul varies greatly. So between one and the other, they're completely different. You cannot compare one level of the soul with another level of the soul. They're not comparable. They're completely distinct. And so he says, after all, the level of nefesh represents the everyday perspectives of this physical world of Asiya. So the level of nefesh is action. It's action. So we have to train the behavior. As we know, cognitive behavioral therapy, very famous. A person has to train their behavior. I remember once, I don't know if I said it here, but I'll repeat it. Rabbi Manis Friedman was in a retreat. He made a retreat. And this lady comes up to him and he says, Rabbi Manis Friedman, I'm so happy to be here. Why did you come? He says, like, the truth is, I'm such a nasty person. I'm not a nice person. I'm not a nice person. So I came to see if I can become a nice person. So it's okay, wonderful, you're in the perfect place. So lunchtime comes and Rabbi Manis Friedman is looking for the lady. And he comes with a jar of water and he says to her, can you do me a big favor? Can you help me serve the water? And she looks at him and she's like, me? I'm going to serve the water? Are you crazy? I paid $5,000 to come to your retreat. You're going to put me to serve the water? And he looked at her and says, okay, you don't get it. You're not going to learn to be a nice person in this retreat only by listening to me. You're going to become a nice person in this retreat by doing things. You want to be nice, just act nice. It's very simple. You want to be patient? Tap into patience. Become patient. Learn how to be patient. You want to be, I don't know, happy? This is the month of happiness. Tap into happiness. Learn how to be happy. There's many ways to learn how to be happy. There's laughing therapy. There's Modeani lefaneha, gratitude, tapping into gratitude. All these things. There's the Torah is really a gym. It's a gym. It's we're working our mental, emotional, and basic muscles. This is what the Torah is. So action, and which is part of the world of Asiya, which is this world where we are, and all Jews are equal. For example, like in this world, for example, if you're in a shul and you have Kiddush time, right? And you have the person that is the simple Jew that comes for Shabbos. He's so simple. He's just learning. And then you have the rabbi, the one that knows the most in the shul. But both of them are putting the table together for the Kiddush, or they're picking up the plates. They're in the same level. There's no difference. So through action, we can be very holy.
But there you're comparing the nefesh level because it's action.
It's action.
Let's say the very holy person, whatever. When he's at the Kiddush, he's feeling this connection and he's intellectually taking apart the words of the brachot and everything else. And the simple person is just doing the action. So I don't care to compare people.
No, I'm not comparing people here. I'm not comparing anybody. I'm just saying that the nefesh level, that basic level of action, we're all the same.
But you are saying that
the rabbi is not in action. He's not in action at that moment.
The and Shema saying that
We're all different because maybe the rabbi picks one plate at a time because he's more refined, and maybe this guy will just stack them, go with the garbage can and just throw everything inside of the garbage. So each one will do it in a different way. But the action is the same action.
Okay. But at the Ruach and the Shema level, what you're saying is they're not equal. But if all, you also said all Jews are equal.
We're all equal.
So it's more like we all have, as long as we're completing our purpose, whatever that is, that's the area of equality. Like,
I understand what you're saying, and you're right. Okay, you're completely 100% right. But if you can look at it from another perspective, and it is that if someone walks inside here asking for tzedakah, okay, and it's a poor person that just came in with a sign from the rabbi, she's asking for tzedakah, and everybody opens their wallet here, and maybe someone's gonna give her $100, maybe someone's gonna give her $1, maybe another person will give her $20. Everybody's gonna give her, okay? The action was the same action. Yeah. On the nefesh level, that's what I'm saying. So in the nefesh level, it's the same. It's the same. It doesn't make a difference. Okay? The person's gonna live with the money at the end of the day. It's done. And everybody contributed whatever they could, but everybody gave. That's what he's saying. And so it says that and in the world of Asiya, all Jews are equal in this world of action. Like nobody's better than the other. The important thing is that we do. If you're doing, you're great. If you're not doing, then there's a problem. But we have the ability to be the same in that level. For example, every Jew is obligated to put on tefillin, to don on tefillin, every man. It doesn't matter the level of his soul. You go into a shul in the morning, there's 100 men putting on tefillin. And it doesn't matter if the person is meditating on the kavanas of the tefillin, and he's doing it with all the kavanah in the world, and he's super connected. And maybe you have this guy that is on a hurry to put on tefillin, and he's just doing it, but they're putting on tefillin. Okay? Nevertheless, as the Tanya asserts, there can still be distinctions between individuals on the nefesh level, since every soul consists not only of a nefesh, but also of a ruach and a neshama. So here comes the other part, which is emotionally where you are, intellectually where you are. Okay? So the action is the same action, but the quality of the action can be a different quality. So you go to Walgreens and you buy a lipstick, and it's a lipstick. A Maybelline lipstick, I don't know how much they are. They're not so expensive. And then you go into Bloomingdale's and you buy the Chanel lipstick, which is $100. Okay, it fulfills the same purpose, but you cannot compare the ingredients of the Maybelline to the ingredients of the Chanel, and the price also. Okay? So the interconnectedness between the higher levels of Ruach and Neshama and the Nefesh level breeds the distinctions between the Nefesh levels within some souls in relation to the Nefesh levels within other souls. So what makes it different, it's the Ruach and the Neshama. That's where things start to look different. Okay? Who wants to read? Mikol Makom. Golden.
Okay. מכל מקום שורש כל הנפש, רוח, נשמה, כולם, מראש כל המדרגות עד סוף, כל דרגין? Is it
Dargin.
המלובש בגופה עמי הארץ וקל
Shebekalim. Okay, so nevertheless, the root of every nefesh, ruach, and neshama, all of them from the highest of all levels to the lowest of all levels, that are clothed within the bodies of the ignorant and the most unworthy. So what he's saying here is that the level is clothed in the nefesh. Okay, as I said before, this is like your liver, where the liver is. So some people have very base instincts, and some people, the basest of instincts, which is food and lusts of the body, can be very holy. Like you can eat in a holy way, in the sense that you're gonna say a bracha, you're gonna eat with the right intention, you're gonna eat because you need the energy in the body to be able to do mitzvot and to learn Torah and to take care of your kids, right? Have the energy to go and work. So a person that eats in this with this intention, the act of eating is gonna be a higher level of eating. If a person that eats for gula, for example, oh, it looks good, it tastes good, I'm always grabbing a chocolate from the counter because I like the taste in my mouth, then he's not, even though he says shakol, the level of the action is gonna be a low level. Okay? The same way with physical relationships, intimacy. It can be the most degrading relationship, or it can be the most holy relationship. These two areas of our lives are where we can tap to the most divine. Is in the lowest, which is in the nefesh. Okay? So the Amharites, or ignorant person, refers to the most extreme ignorant, far removed from the knowledge and awareness of the divine. And practically speaking, his soul exists on a low level, lacking the manifestation of the higher levels of his soul, his ruach and neshama. And the most irreverent refers to those who commit transgressions liberally and carelessly, mocking and anything that is holy. There's a footnote here that I think it's from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that he says this is similar to the idea stated above, that even in the realm of the physical performance of a mitzvah, there is a difference between people in the way they perform the mitzvah. So one thing is the mitzvah, and the other one is how you do the mitzvah. It's two separate things. That's what I think. Remind me your name?
Shoshana.
Shoshana, beautiful name. That's what you meant. Yes?
You're actually the nefesh, the ruach, and the shema, right?
Yes.
First, it seems like you're saying on the nefesh level, everybody's the same, but then you're saying that the intent with which something is done on the ruach and the neshama level actually is integrated with the nefesh. So that it
Totally.
changes.
Totally. That's why they say a rabbi would tell you that you're gonna he'd ask you to do a mitzvah, or you're gonna do a mitzvah. And you say to the rabbi, but I don't feel it. It's gonna be hypocritical, hypocritical. ¿Cómo se llama? Hypocritical. How am I gonna go and do this if I don't feel it, right? And you're not, the nefesh and the neshama are completely disconnected from this action. Like, let's say, go to the mikvah. Like, right? Each time you start going to the mikvah, you say, but I don't feel it. Like, and you don't have understanding of it. And he says to you, go to the mikvah. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as hypocritical. The mitzvah of a Jew is ingrained in the Jew. And the person starts going to the mikvah. And okay, maybe the first, the second, the third time doesn't feel it. He's not doing it for the right reason. That rabbi told him go to a mikvah, and he's trying to grow and bring goodness to their home. But eventually, the nefesh and the ruach and the neshama, the person is going to start feeling the mitzvah. And then intellectually, he's going to be understanding the mitzvah. And that's why when the Jewish people were given the Torah, they said, Naseh v'nishma. We will do, and then we will learn. Because if you go with psychology, the cognitive behavioral therapy, which is actually Tanya 101, is if you cannot do it from up down, start doing from down up. And it doesn't matter if you feel it or you don't feel it, or you're doing it for the right reason or the right reason, because eventually by doing, you're going to be able to integrate the emotion and the intellect. Okay? See?
There's a mamar achreyan bulot nimshachim halevavot. After the action follows the heart.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it is. Sometimes we don't feel, so many mothers when they have their first babies, they get postnatal depression, and they feel terrible because they're not feeling for the baby what they thought they had to feel for the baby. It's very common. It's very common. A woman is carrying this baby for 9 months. She's dreaming about her baby, and suddenly the baby's born, and he's crying, and she can't sleep, and everything hurts. And then the husband leaves to work, and she has loads of clothes to wash and food to cook, and she's overwhelmed, and she can't feel that love. She's not sick. She just has to go through the role of being a mother, of nurturing the baby, feeding the baby, bathing the baby, putting on the diapers, making sure he's taken care of. And eventually, the doing will bring that love. The word ahava, love, has the root word have. Have is do. When you give to someone else, give. When you're giving, you'll arouse the love. Okay? And so
The doing is the love, no?
the doing is the love. The doing is the love. But if we're gonna sit like this waiting for the love to appear, sometimes it will never come. Sometimes we'll sit forever and wait for it, waiting, manifesting, thinking about it, dreaming about it. But if you're not action based and you're not really doing it, it will not come. Unless you're Mother Teresa of Calcutta and you're born with all this love inside of you and you're so easy for you to give the love. So, yeah. So, you want to read? נמשך?
Sure. נמשך ממוח, העליון שהיא חכמה כביכול, sorry.
Okay, so this is drawn down, as it were, from the supernal mind, which is supernal wisdom. Both the highest and the lowest of souls stem from the same source, the supernal divine wisdom, and every soul is unique expression of that divine wisdom. So the lowest to the lowest and the highest to the highest, we all come from the same supernal wisdom. You want to read that?
Okay. כמשל הבן הנמשך ממוח האב.
So this is analogous to the child who is drawn from the father's brain. And this is an incredible analogy. We're done? Finished? Hi. Let me finish this. So this is an amazing analogy that the Alter Rebbe gives us. And he starts saying that the drop of semen that fecunda, ¿cómo se you say that? Implants into the mother, comes from the brain of the father. Okay? So this is an analogy to the divine soul. So the divine soul comes from the brain of Hashem, from his divine wisdom, Chokhmah Ila'ah, the highest of wisdoms, okay? In that wisdom of Hashem, as we can explain it in human terms, Hashem desires to bring forth a soul, okay? So this is the first thing. The semen, the drop of semen is created in the brain. The same way that Hashem creates the potential soul, the soul. Okay, so this is the initial inception of the child is in the mind of the father. So to every Jewish soul is drawn from God's supernal wisdom. And just as the children of the same father differ from each other, so too there are differences between souls. Though it is said of all the Jewish people that you are children to the Lord, that does not mean that all Jews are equal. And there are good children and rebellious children, and some are smart and some are not. Yet still beyond all the differences and levels, each one comes from the supernal wisdom, from Hashem's mind. He envisioned it. He created the world because he dreamed with us. He was dreaming about us. There's a beautiful song of the eighth day that says, Abraham, are we the children that you dreamed of? So I say, are we the children that Hashem dreamed of? We have to ask that question. And so even his toenails were literally brought into existence from this drop of semen. So every part of the body of a baby comes from the drop of semen. The toenails, the teeth, every white part, the bones, the white of the eyes, white cells, all the white part of a body comes from the father's semen. The red areas of the body, the red cells and the veins and the blood, all this comes from the mother's egg. I'm not a biologist, but you can check it out. And my husband used to give this class, and there was a doctor that used to come, and he used to tell, it's true, it's true, it's true. Really, really. So by his gestating in the mother's womb for 9 months, having descended level by level, constantly morphing until when even the nails were formed. Imagine what a miracle it is for a human being to come into the world. It's miraculous. Think about it, like it's this drop of semen that gets together with one egg, and suddenly this baby starts appearing. If you go through the sonograms of a pregnancy, you'll see at the beginning is like this little thing that looks like a bean, and then suddenly this bean starts having arms and legs and fingers, and suddenly there's a heart beating, and like these things start to appear. It's unbelievable. And so it says, despite this, the drop is still connected and unified in a wondrous and awesome unity with its original essence and being, namely the drop of semen as it originated in the father's brain. So just as the baby is going to be connected to this father for his whole life, no matter if he never met this father. I have students that they don't know their fathers. They have a connection with this father from his brain. Our toenails are connected to our fathers. It's incredible. It's something that can never get disconnected. So the analogy, what the Rebbe is saying, is that we're the same. Just what happens here happens, like everything that happens in this world is just a reflection of the upper realm. And so Hashem, he created us through his thought, through his wisdom. And a Jew is connected to Hashem no matter what he does in his life. It doesn't matter. He always has this connection with the Father in heaven. And so I think I'm going to leave it here because I think, or we still have time. I don't know. I'm going to wait till Esther comes and says, yeah, that's it? Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So anybody has another